consider giving up your bread and butter for this hobby?
Well, I've placed a couple of calls to Steven Spielberg, just offering to do just that, but the opportunities haven't presented themselves financially and practically to the extent that I would give up my full-time job. I love the law and I love acting. It's just a matter of timing and what's right for me and for my family during that time.
And actually, you know, we have a lot of students out there who watch the show. And it's nice for them to see that you can have the best of both worlds. You know, you can have a full-time career. You can, you know, dabble in something you love. I mean, what would you say to these students about what you do?
Well, I think for students, one of the hardships is overcoming maybe the tension between what their parents may expect for them to pursue in terms of what's realistic and what their actual dreams are. I say if you have a dream, great, pursue it. Be a dreamer, do whatever it takes to make it happen, but also be a realist. Know that you need to pursue something ultimately that will allow you to make a living, to take care of yourself and your family. And so you really have to prioritize. I do. I have a 9-month-old son. Hi, Ryan. And a wife who was a former producer for Fox TV, so we sort of have that in the family. My son was actually in a photo shoot when he was 4 months old.
So you're starting him early too.
I am. He's crying a lot, but I think he's a ham too. So again, you really have to prioritize. And if you are able, financially or career-wise, to pursue acting, then great, all the better. If not, then my advice to up-and-coming young folks would be to pursue something that will allow you to sustain yourself financially, and then pursue acting as a hobby.
Now, someday, was your son's name?
Ryan.
Ryan. Ryan says, "Dad, I want to be an actor." What are you going to say?
I'll say go for it, but make sure you pay the bills first so that you can take care of me in my old age.
You know, George Takei, you know George Takei
Sure.
well, Mr. Sulu, and I remember he was speaking to a group of young people, and he basically said he always wanted to be an actor, and his father wanted him to be an engineer. So he made a deal with his father that he would go to engineering school and at least fulfill that piece of it, so he could always have something to fall back on. But what he really wanted to be was an actor, and you know, that kind of both worlds and both wishes. Right?
I think that's wonderful. I think Mr. Takei is a wonderful actor. He and other successful and talented Asians like yourself have really opened up doors in the media. I sort of struck a similar deal with my dad. He told me to, I told him I wanted to do something else, and he told me I wanted to be an engineer. So I went to engineering school, but he didn't count on the fact,
right?
he didn't count on the fact that I didn't have the talent. And so I tried to flunk out, and then he realized that maybe I wasn't cut out for that.
Now, did he tell you that you want to be an attorney too?
He's been very supportive. Both my parents were very supportive throughout my childhood. I gave the engineering and the computer science a shot, kind of regretting it now, seeing the IT market. But because I couldn't cut it, I didn't have the talent or the skills, I did go into the law. Maybe a bad reason to go into law because I didn't know what else to do. But
you love it.
It turned out well, and I do love it.
Right. You know, they say, I was a teacher my whole life, and they say teachers are frustrated actresses, you know, because when we stand in front of students, we have to be a ham. Otherwise, you know, just the subject, and I taught math, so you can imagine how exciting math was. The subject is not exactly the most exciting.
So you weren't enthusiastic, really?
Oh, yeah, I went in, I talked about Pythagorean theorem, and I was really very excited about it.
It was all Greek to you.
Yeah, but, you know, people actually think you dream math dreams, you know, when you're a math teacher. But I would agree with, I think no matter what you do, there's an element of acting in all of it. You know, I would even assume as a judge, you know, even though you're listening to these cases,
Sure.
and you're probably thinking, you know, that person is not really telling me, you know, exactly the truth, and yet you've got to play this very neutral person, right?
I've got a great poker face. I'll sit up there and pretend I'm interested sometimes when I'm actually thinking about the next audition or what I'm going to say on the Ginny Gong show.
Now, what's next? Just a quick wrap-up. Any other projects coming down the pike?
I've got several. I'm involved in lots of acting and modeling. I won't bore you with it, but I am very interested in it, still remain very enthusiastic, and I'm going to pursue it hard.
Well, that's great. Thank you, Steve, for being on my show.
Thank you, Jane.
That's the end of our show. I'd like to thank my guests, Joan Rebecca Taylor Siragar and Steve Shih, for joining me. And thanks to all of you for being with us. Stay well, and we'll see you next time.
When you mentor a child, you don't have to be perfect. You just have to be yourself, which by